Welcome back. Yes, we're going to start the game now. Don't worry. The lobby had a couple of little issues there. A little bug that needed to be squished, and it wasn't Matt Morello. Nightmare versus Timeless. Our first series up today here in North America. Scott, they're pretty close in terms of league points this season, this year. Timeless need to be able to come up with a win, but it does feel like a nightmare game. Infected, Zera, Seeker, CJ, Admiral, just a lot of history, both in the Overwatch League and just in general in Tier 2, and been on a lot of strong teams. And, well, it's up to Timeless really to kind of knock them down a peg.
It's kind of funny just seeing the Nightmare roster as a whole, right? Like, it really is just a hodgepodge of so many players from all over the place throughout the history of Overwatch Esports. You know, the same thing about Timeless, but, you know, you just said it, league points Timeless are behind. If they really want to get through to DreamHack Stockholm later this year, these are the matches they need to win. They need to prove they deserve to be there.
Alright, let's rock and roll. We've got the Rams here, no divas. Makes a lot more sense, actually. Yeah, Ramatra on this map feels a little better, I feel, than the diva. Especially with the high ground control. In fact, you're just casually winning the 1v1 against Cuffer. Small assist there from Seeker, but I think it was mainly Infected that got that kill.
It seemed like a weird first fight. Cuffer ended up on an island completely alone, and Infected just able to isolate. Nightmare just getting complete control.
His team are on low ground. Timeless being on low ground, they ended up using the lamp, and then Seeker just had the high ground advantage and just started shooting the gun. And that was it. That was it was pretty much all over from there. As they try and now regroup and wrap around onto this high ground, but pretty treacherous one. Nice little dynamite there onto Seeker as Vision trying to take positioning. Can Seeker from a mile away, but does manage to land a headshot. Issue is now they still have to kind of walk onto this very exposed height. Pushing Infected off, though, down to low ground is going to be a good start. Dynamite ends up hitting the shield there, as time is almost going to cap.
Yeah, and that's going to force Nightmare to drop to just put some level of contest. Now they're going to drop the window to just get a little bit more time and control, but should be an easy disengage and re-engage coming from Timeless, and they have a window of their own.
Yeah, Squid just got that online not just a second ago. There's the insta-kill onto Admiral. Window drop by Squid. Admiral just getting a one-shot there. No Ajax, thankfully. Didn't even have the sound barrier. This window on the point is going to be very annoying to deal with. The Vision does enough falling here for Timeless. You can see the Bob on the point just kind of holding the fort down, and now you can just play around it. Seeker just ignoring cover for the most part, helping Admiral take out Doomed. And, well, Nightmare, they're still in control. They got a pulse bomb. Zera can kind of hang around the point for as much time as possible and gain maybe even 65%. 64, you take that if you're Nightmare.
Yeah, as much as Nightmare eventually do lose that team fight, they were on the back foot from the beginning when they have to use the window earlier. Yes, Seeker throws the bomb away, but what did that give? Another 15, 20% potentially? So I like the decision, but now they're playing into a wealth of ultimates from Timeless, so they need to find a way to play this macro game well, where when they engage with the Bob just like this, they don't lose members.
Well, here comes the Bob from Vision. So he's taking a fair amount of damage there, even going to throw in the sound barrier on both sides. In fact, a late beat after Infected died. Admiral wasn't even like mid, like using like cast animation, right? Like Infected died and he decided we're just going to go in, but once again, it was Nightmare this time around that kind of split. You saw CJ and Seeker just held in that small room in the choke point against the Bob, and Infected was in kitchen on the other side of the map on the Mega. All right, there's both sound barriers utilized as time is still control the point.
The silver lining, Cuffer did have to use the ultimate for the Ramatra just to stay alive from the pulse bomb with Zera. So now Nightmare do have the advantage of their own. They can just walk forward with his Nemesis form, and the Nanites can just sort of run over them. Cuffer's going to be very careful about getting this low. But with Squid coming up to a window, you can see Nightmare don't want to walk into this open space because there's a chance they might just get blown up.
Oh, Squid so low, forced to use the lamp already, Scott. No good start, and now they haven't really got a good position to use this window. You can see Infective. Luckily, for Timeless, they managed to boop him off the high ground, but that doesn't mean he's on the point now and just pressuring as much as he can. They're going to get the flip too. The Annihilation straight through the window. Now they can't make use of it at all. Lamp to save Infected from almost going down as he just looks at 5 members of Timeless, folds his arms, and just lets his team do the rest.
Just understands all Infected needs to do is stay alive there. Just stay alive, get in their face. He's doing just so much passive damage during the Annihilation. Now Timeless all of a sudden backs against the wall. 85%. They're getting close to the sound barrier and the Bob, but because of the lack of time, they're not going to be able to go through the high ground. They're going to have to funnel through the low ground, and you can see Nightmare waiting to pounce as soon as they step out. Bob on Seeker as well.
Yeah, Vision's 10% away. It's a shot on a little bit there. Doom with the pulse bomb. Here's OT. They do manage to get it. As well, Vision's actually just pushed out of the fight completely. Bob on the point, sound barrier only on 3 there from Lucamino, and they're not even got any position whatsoever. Seeker's Bob, sure, ends up going down, but Zera's pressuring the backline. A pulse bomb in hands too, looking for something, but no, it's Bob that found him first. Vision with a nice little off angle there in kitchen, keeping Seeker busy and the rest of the team too. Seeker manages to finish him off eventually, but his time is taking over the point. That sound barrier onto 3 from Lucamino. It looked almost hopeless for Timeless there, but they actually end up coming out on top, and Nightmare now have to struggle to get back to the point.
Yeah, because the flip came through in the middle of that fight, all of a sudden the percentage started ticking up, and Timeless is now in prime position. Zera. Can Zera get there?
Yes.
Only just. Oh!
Oh no!
Rough.
Recalled at the wrong time there, unfortunately. Well, he had no other choice, to be very honest here. 4-man sound barrier there for Nightmare as they try and push themselves onto the point. Infected back on the ball now, but Squid dead. Good start. Annihilation, this is going to be the difference maker. Cuffer's just going to sit on the point, fold his arms, and let Nightmare come to them. Lucamino with a double, and that should just be about it. Not enough rolling, unfortunately, can be done by Infected. Was 1 HP, not much chance there to retouch. 100 to 99 is Timeless. You know, they looked almost out there, Scott, but a couple of small clutch plays from Vision, especially not going down after getting shot by Seeker in the fight before, and deploying that Bob near the point really swung it in their favor.
Both teams just have complete respect for each other, playing the exact same compositions, and it was just a couple of little things that made the difference. A couple of early ultimates, players getting a little out of position that ended up turning it for Timeless, but looks like it's going to be a very close series if both teams are just willing to play this from Archer, because toe-to-toe, pound for pound, it feels like there isn't a lot of differences between these teams.
All right, I mean, so we're just seeing a lot more Ramatra. It might just be like a control special, you know? See as the kind of series develops, where we end up going next. Wow, Cuffer's just on his own. Yeah, completely. Had to get escorted there by Lucamino, but he's
great boot in.
Currently LOSing his healers. Yeah, but there's an additional boot there from Admiral. Is going to force the rest of Timers to back all the way up. That's a big dynamite too from Seeker. He's already up to 40% to Bob.
Oh yeah, he's just doing so much damage with these dynamites. Vision also hits a big dynamite at their own. Zera!
Oh, Zera!
Just checking what's on the next stage as well, you know? Looking ahead.
Yeah. Looking ahead, guys, don't worry. I know which one we're going to next.
Yeah.
Admiral super low, saved by the lamp, but now Nightmare on the back foot as Time is picking up that 1 kill. It's going to result in that point being capped.
Seeker is getting up to a very quick Bob. This could be the difference maker for this next fight. If he gets up to the Bob, there's going to be so much damage and positioning, but Vision's down already to Seeker, so they might not even need it.
Trading DPS at this moment in time. Seeker finds yet another one. Just a crack shot on the Ash that whole time is on the point, Scott. So Timers weren't even able to kind of deal with him, even on this off angle. And Ash alone, normally pretty easy to dive. Coach Gun is pretty effective at getting away from one person, but not against a team with a Lucio. But Nightmare end up flipping the point.
Importantly as well, Squid uses that amplification matrix, so I don't really know where that one was, but that's a huge tool that you kind of need to take the space early on in these fights. So this is going to be difficult for Timeless to get into this. Vision going for a flank, unable to find anything just because Nightmare's just completely stacking up on this pillars. They don't need the flanks, they don't need the control. They're just more than confident to sit here and hold the positioning.
Yeah, now Nightmare have the advantage, right? They got Bob, they got Window. It's going to be hard to really turn this fight in any which way. Pulse bomb from Doomed ends up hitting the floor, hitting the lamp. Bob down at least, but you can still buy some more time. There's just so much that Nightmare can throw in this fight. Timers, they're just infinitely far behind. They got 0 ults versus 4 from Nightmare.
They are coming up to them though. Window goes down from CJ. If they can
Cuffer.
disengage once again and keep Cuffer alive, okay, they're not in a terrible spot. Yes, they've lost time and percentage on the round, but now they can come in with their own ultimates.
Still 3 ults here. That pulse bomb, the annihilation, you got sound barrier. Seeker looking towards the point now as Doom tries to distract him for a little bit. A beat and annihilation. There's not much you can do about that. Let's be real with ourselves here. And then Nightmare is just going to force this into final fight.
They need to be careful about getting staggered here. They are still playing somewhat aggressive, even though they're down members. You see Cuffer getting very aggressive.
Yeah, has to at this point. Vision did it again. 2 Seeker of all people. And now Zero with the pulse bomb. Doesn't want to let it go just yet. Annihilation beats. How about there's some of them apples? Twist, Timeless, sorry. Now moving on forward. Backline dead. It's all good. You can give this point up. Not too much of a problem. You got 99. He's still fine on the point. They should be able to clean him up. Even with Zera here, it's going to take a little bit of a miracle. Okay, Infected kills 3, sure. I mean, now you can just go in. Coffer's super low. Nemesis form coming up in a couple of moments, I would imagine. But no, Vision rejoined the party after being slain by Seeker not just a moment ago. That was dicey.
Yeah, Timeless holding on by the skin of their teeth. Infected somehow coming up with 3 while completely alone on the point. But Nightmare only need to get the 1 flip. Don't have many ultimates to speak for, so they might just have to try and get Seeker space. You can see them giving Seeker a little bit of room to breathe, because if you give him the space, he can find picks like he already has in this round.
In a nice forward position at the very least, I suppose. Squid's got the window too.
Fire.
There we go. They are on fire. They do get lamped. Ball comes out on the point. Kind of pepper in the backline. They do end up instantly killing it, of course. The window's there to kind of aid that. Dynamite can't be connected there by Seeker, unfortunately. Infective, yeah, he's on the wrong side of the window. We'll have to kind of help him, but the Annihilation is going to have to get used. Oh, he's like single-digit HP there for a couple of frames. It's actually Nightmare. They end up finding the flip, too. Timeless aren't going to be able to get back to the point.
They do touch just a little bit. Who goes next? Next is the Lucid Tracer again.
Ain't happening.
Just desperation.
Yeah, CJ with an off angle of the window. Nice stuff from Nightmare there. As Timeless only managed to go on at 56%. And as long as these fights go, it feels like, I wouldn't say like an experience gap or anything. They're pretty close in terms of experience level, but Nightmare, the longer the fights go, the more in control it feels like they're having.
It's when you're playing these mirror matchups, the big difference comes down to cooldown usage, right? How much value you're getting out of the Dynamites, how early are you having to pop the Nemesis form as the Ramatra, when are your Baptiste lamps coming out, right? It's the little things that really differentiate between these top level teams. So Nightmare doing a lot better job of cycling their abilities, hitting big Dynamites. You called it out early. Forcing those Dynamites lowers the HP, forces the lamps out earlier, and the Nightmare are able to capitalize. But as we head over here to Shrine, we have a completely different composition for both teams.
Oh, it's all Winston. It's all Monkey Watch now. But CJ Admiral going the Ana Lucio, and then you got Brig for Lucamino.
I like the Brig so much more in this setup. I feel like Lucio can be so difficult to play, harder to get value and help out the rest of your team. Like, keeping Infected alive without the Brig packs can be very difficult. CJ's going to have to put so much more focus on healing the Infected.
No follow-up, though. Wow, that sucks. Squid and Lucamino went purple there. But this is such a good angle. If Seeker can kind of hold up here, kill the bubble first, or at least get his teammates to kill him. Admiral dead, however. Cover taking that kill, but Infective still in the mix. Sending everybody pretty low with that Tesla cannon. Slowly but surely, they are finding kills in this fight, and they got the point too. It was Zera and Doomed who was sent to the point individually.
Did you see that bait? That was actually so funny. Squid hides himself in the corner so that when the jump comes from Infected, what most Winston players do is they drop the bubble so that the Ana can't sleep them. But if the Ana's hiding behind him, there's nothing that's Infected could do. Just absolutely gets slept and falls over. Funny heads up play by Squid on the Ana, and that should get the flip. There it is.
Nice little flip. Yeah, without the Winston, you got no point presence at all, really. In your high ground presence, you need to force the supports to low, which they are now. Nano boost for CJ, though. This is go time. There it is, straight to the back. Straight on the Ash. Ain't no way Vision's escaping that one. Yeah, and Seeker's clearing up. All right, there we go. Pretty quick and clean team fight. Just using the Nano.
Both teams using the Nano as well. Squid decided to commit theirs on Cuffer, but by the time that Infected had been Nanoed landed already, the rest of the Timeless squad had to scatter, and they weren't able to follow up in the same way that Infected was. So just going early, being proactive, really comes up dividends for Nightmare, and that only cost them 1 ultimate as they're back up to 34% because of the early flip.
Soundbar versus Rally too.
I think you would always prefer to have the Rally over the Sound Barrier, but there are unique situations where the Sound Barrier can be hyper valuable.
Yeah, if you're really going deep on the back line, they're hitting that beat and getting some quick kills, but yeah. After a while, the Rally the value is just so much. Nice stick from Zera too. Vision didn't have a clue where he was and just dumps a clip into Squid's head too. Squid too, just unable to see past the invisibility cloak there from Zera. Bob is on the point, takes down the Tracer, but when this point right now, unable to be taken, you'd imagine, especially with Infected pop of the Primal. Look at how close it was to flipping for Timeless. That would have been such a big boom for their percent bank. They do end up using the Sound Barrier too in this fight. knowing Cover can kind of stay around, maybe Squid and Lucamino popping their heads in as well, but I mean, this extended fight is getting worse for Timeless as things go on. A nice nade too. Vision and Cover are just going to fall over. Yeah, Zero with a blink smack straight into the back line, and this is final fight for Nightmare. There's 10% to go, and Timeless, they have no bodies near the point, let alone like in spawn.
Timeless used so many ultimates just to keep that fight going, just because of the chance that it might flip around, but they just kept committing. Sunk cost fallacy just kept committing, and now they can't even touch. And that's going to be the first map to Nightmare. It felt like Timeless had their moments of being in control, but Nightmare, their composure just too strong.
Yeah, wow, that long fight. Like, okay, they read the primal, we rip ours, and I was thinking maybe Admiral's sound barrier not really needed there, but because of how long you're able to stay in with the primal rage, you know Squid and the gang are coming back, and wow, what a fantastically played fight by Nightmare. Still pretty close though. That first round, of course, going 99 to 100. The audience thought, you know, this is going to be a Nightmare sweep by the looks of it, but you know.
Danny believed, and that's what's important, you know, for Timeless. And honestly, these teams are very closely matched. As I said earlier, it's just the little things. There's things that Timeless could do that they could change quickly that would be able to give them the edge over Nightmare. So I'm excited to see what happens as this series progresses, but not only that, what maps we go to, because Nightmare did look a lot more comfortable playing the Winston, but if you can force them onto the Ramatra maps, that's really where we saw Timeless have a little bit more success.
Yeah, I do really like this losers pick format. You're just picking any mode. Because yeah, a lot of yesterday we were talking about how a lot of the teams wanted to go to slower maps. But I think for Nightmare, I think it's going to be the complete opposite. And to be fair, same for Timeless. I think we're going to want to go to fast maps.
Oh, don't do this to Zero. Come on, Observers. Oh, this is going to come on, Observers. What are we doing here? I want to state, just for the Zero propaganda that's going out right now, he played phenomenally in the third. When there was nowhere to fall off, Zero was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's so true. So true from you. When you play Village and there's no way to throw, so oh wait, there is. Oh,
yeah, no, you wouldn't you like.
Man, we had to be fair, we had a lot of people falling off our Ikevaldi essay. Nothing can top that.
Yeah, so maybe that's the strategy from Timeless on the map pick here. It's like Ikevaldi, Zero's
gonna fall off again, man. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We play for second, and he's just gonna fall off the map a few more times.
Hey, honestly, bold strategy. I like it. But honestly, very close map so far. We could see, you know, anything happen at this point. We talked about it coming into this series. You know, Timeless, they are a roster that have been playing together for a while. These players have been around the ringer. They should be no strangers to being behind a little bit and the adaptations that need to come with it.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and see. Like I said, Timeless' map choice. I want to see a King's Row, man. We haven't seen a King's Row in so long, it feels like.
I feel like King's Row with this meta is a little difficult. People would prefer to play like the Winston, and that's more conducive to playing like Eichenwalder and that kind of stuff. But we even saw Paraiso before we saw King's Row. That's when you know things are strange.
You know the meta's a little bit wonky when we see Paraiso rather than King's Row. Like, come on. Maybe no one's... Like you said yesterday, though, maybe no one's actually playing that map in scrims and stuff, because even since the map came out, it's just... I don't know. I'm still not sold on it. It's definitely not my favorite hybrid map of all time. Like, playing second, it feels so rough unless you get, like, a clean fight after you win first. Like, assailing that high ground is so hard.
It's a difficult map. I kind of relate it to, like, Numbani, like, trying to attack that first point. The differences that help you win that map are very small things. Can you find that individual pick? Can you do it otherwise? Otherwise, you can just get stuck on that second point on Paraiso, just like you can get stuck on first point in Barney. So here's the map pool that we have. Obviously, they can't play Control again, but we've seen a lot of teams moving towards Hybrid and Escort before they've gone in the direction of Flashpoint and Push as well. Maybe just personal preference of maps that they've played for a longer time.
Blizzard World 2. Doable.
Yeah, I like Blizzard World.
Blizzard World Eichenwalder for Hybrid. Obviously, only 2 Flashpoint maps.
If you're Timeless, you could go to Shambali Monastery as well. A very common Ramatra map. But, you know, obviously home field territory, but Ramatra is just very flat. You can get a lot of value, a lot of corners that you can play Ramatra around. So if that's the direction they want to go, they want to end up in this Ramatra mirror, Shambali Monastery could be a great pick.
I wonder if we're going to see Circa then, because that'll be a nice matchup too. Vision versus Seeker on the Widows, or even just on the Ashes again would be kind of sick.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see that. I think we're not going to see a lot of differences in the compositions that both of these teams are going to play. If you just use Nepal as a base, like it felt like both teams had a very similar understanding of what they wanted to play. They're actually going to Flashpoint, New Junk City. That has to make you feel like that's a Ramatra decision as well.
Maybe it is. Yeah, because you can, on this map specifically, like, oh, well, to be fair, both Flashpoint maps, Ramatra's pretty good.
Yeah,
like the rush style is pretty good. Like the dive definitely works, but rush just feels so much more conducive to the way the game mode plays.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good pick by Timeless. I'm kind of curious to see what both teams come out with in this series, because so far both teams pretty similar. I expect them to be able to sort of like find their spot, but also Flashpoint and New Junk City specifically, people are still working it out, right? People are still throwing like, where's the best place to hold? Where's the best point to attack? Obviously, it's different every single time. So we'll see what Timeless are going to come out with. I would love to see the Junker Queen, but I feel like Junker Queen does struggle at times against certain the other rush setups.
There's no way. Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's no way. I think there's definitely a world where you can make it work. Kuffer gets the Australian buff as well, so that really gives it 20% more damage.
20%? I was going to say 5.
Yeah, recent patch, Australians get 20% buff.
Patch? Bro, Scott's in charge of the patch notes again.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. I think they're going to run it. Okay. This is a little spicy here. Vision on the Venture, and then Queen for Cuffer for Timeless, and then Nightmare just with the full rush with May Reaper. Okay, two very different styles here.
And so we'll find out how we feel about the Queen against the Ramatra. Obviously, the Queen can get a lot more value if you're hitting the jagged blades. You can isolate targets. If you can just hit people with and get the bleeds rolling, Junker Queen can be very solid, but how easy it is to get value on Ramatra is generally why a lot of people lean towards this hero, because you can just hold your hands up, cross your arms, or just run at people and punch like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and this Queen's going to get a lot of value with these axe swings, of course. Especially as everybody's grouped up, but this is going to be the big problem for the Queen. Getting up close and personal is where you want to with JQ, but the problem is Seeker and Zera also perform exceptionally at that range. Not only the walls, but just the left click slow too. Left clicking slow the Queen, and then the Ramatra, the Ramatra too, but also the Reaper just stands there and shoots the Queen. She just falls over.
Yeah, Junker Queen is always playing on a knife's edge, pun intended, of are you able to stay alive long enough while also getting value? And Cuffer's going to realize, hey, against the May, against the Reaper, it's not going to work. They go over to a Ramatra of their own.
Yeah, and then Vision swapping over from the Venture, going to Cass. A little stun, stopping the Reaper getting away with absolute murder. They are pressuring the point here. Doomed has been sent to the point solo, so it's a 4-man push on the high ground. Vision rolling away from that vortex. You can see Infected smells blood in the water, looking straight at Vision. The flip does end up coming through, but they need to win this preceding fight. Infected taking a whole heap of damage, but this kiting is sick. CJ now trying to chase them with his coalescence. They're going to have to find a pick here at some point. Otherwise, Time's just going to perma run away from them. Pulse momentum coming through. Zera goes down. Infected receives that sound barrier, pops the annihilation, and this should be the team kill. They've lost so much progress on the point. What, 40% they lost in that fight after Time is just ring around the rosy around that high ground.
And Timeless played that almost perfectly considering the ult disadvantage they were at. They were able to kite away from that coalescence from Nightmare. It wasn't until Infected pops the annihilation that they were just unable to sustain through it. Fortunately, Squid's able to switch over to the Baptiste, a more consistent and higher healing pick than the Kiriko. But I almost think that the composition mismatch that we saw at the beginning is going to cost Timeless this first round.
Uh-oh. Well, welcome to pain. Uh-oh, Seeker, he's still the sound barrier, but they're all good. Just speeding on forwards. They got OT too, 99%. Time has had to get to point. Vision being the sacrificial lamb in that regard now, but they still need to win this fight. Now they're just hiding behind the shield, waiting for the annihilation to wear off, but nope, they're going to decide which can throw Blizzard in and then run you down. This is really just it here. No more ults really need to be used. Even with Vision coming back, there's just no hope.
And that was the sound barrier and the annihilation committed by Timeless, so it's not like they're going to use that disadvantage that they had and come back with a different advantage of the ultimates, because with Luke Mino and Squid falling late into this fight, we could actually see Nightmare already progressing, getting the first cap. So now Timeless walking at a disadvantage going into the second round. With CJ with the Coalescence, that's really difficult to deal with if you're Squid on the Baptiste, because they can just burn through that lamp, burn through the amount of health that you can do and the healing that you can do. So we'll see how Timeless are going to approach this fight.
Yeah, it feels like more, not really like a huge counter to BAP or anything, but when you do have a whole heap of people running it here with the Coalescence behind him, like, yeah, that lamp does absolutely nothing. Pulse one for Doom, he's just earned it. Coalescence coming out, and Vision just trying to halt this fight, or at least slow it down with that high noon. But look, I mean, Seeker and Infected, just pure WM1. Oh, okay.
Hit him with the walk.
You know you had to do it to him, Seeker.
As the kids say, aura. You know, look at this guy. I was learning from Danny coming into this.
No, okay, people should know about this. Danny in the pre-show, well, before the pre-show started, was like, I learned some new words today. And I was like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah, skibbity riz aura. I was like, please just quit the stream now. Just hang up the call, it's over. It's so over for us.
Timeless used all their ultimates as well. The highest percent ult is Kuffer at 45% on the Ramatra. So this is another round where they're in such a bad spot. You can see Nightmare recognizes they're like, we're just going to stand on the point, wait for them to step up, and then use ultimates of their own.
Good dive here from Admiral. He's kind of alone right now, though. Hey, pop that sound barrier. It's all good. We win the fight, right? Time's just getting run over, despite them having a mate of their own, Scott. I mean, Vision's just getting no space. It's so rough to play the Cassidy here. I'm curious if they just want to switch over to the Reaper, in all honesty.
Yeah, because the Cassidy is solid if you want to just, like, play slow, get the damage in. But right now, Nightmare's not giving Timeless an opportunity. Every time they step up, they're just all-inning with the ultimates they have. And 88%, 89%, I think Timeless is just going to give this one up. Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, just get a better position for the next point. Yeah, there it is. All right, it's across the map. So Time is making a heads-up play there, making sure they get to the point first, and then they can set out with Vision, right? You can make a little bench, you can make a little campfire, you can kind of chill, you can vibe with Squid and Vision. Smurf on the support, yeah, he plays in North America now. Squid and Vision just kind of at arm's reach, just try and keep everybody kind of away from you. So we'll see if Nightmare choose to just go in hot and heavy with the Blizzard.
Wow,
well, not anymore. Just a double headshot there from Doomed, I'd imagine. Instantly taking down Zera.
It's still committing ultimates.
Oh, what a shot by Doomed. Doesn't matter though, apparently. Yeah, the Death Blossom and the Annihilation. Just a pure AoE Overwatch is what we're seeing.
I was trying to win.
He is trying to win. I mean,
great play.
An opposing Annihilation just rips through the enemy team. I mean, Nightmare just fell over. That looks so losable there for Timeless, and Cover just rips the ult and just runs at him.
Well, they got the early pick, and I really like the decision by Nightmare. Just commit a couple of ultimates that will overcome the player deficit that you're at. But Cover's able to live just long enough and recognize if I pop this Annihilation, the healing isn't there for Nightmare. CJ falls, and all of a sudden they're going to get that round. And that was, once again, expensive for Nightmare to try and take. So now they're going to have to step up. Oh, now Doom's turn to full.
Yeah, there's the cold damage or Vortex in the back. Sound barrier used. Same with that high noon. Again, trying to slow this fight down. Coalescence only doing a little bit of healing now. Not much damage, but the Blizzard on top should be enough. Just ult dumping. And now maybe even staggering Coffer? Oh, a little bit. Not a crazy amount of stagger there, but all right, now I control the point now.
Mate players are so good with the right click these days. Like, just the consistency in which they hit the headshot. It does so much damage if you can hit the shots, and also allows you to draw and build very quick blizzards. So now it's going to be Doom's turn. They have the window for Timeless on Squid. They have Doom with the Blizzard. How are they going to utilize his ultimates? They need to find a way to isolate specific targets of Nightmare.
Oh, this is a really good way to do it. Yep. Blizzard comes in, however, speed amp there from Admiral to make sure Infected stays alive. Squid first to fall, Vision second, as Seeker also found himself in a nice little spot just to give us some free backshots there. 70% and building here for Nightmare. Scott, Timeless. One fight remaining, and they're getting chased all the way to spawn.
And you can see Nightmare recognizes they can get one more pick. This is just going to be a stagger. Doom's going to fall, and now Timeless, they're looking in a dire spot for this fight. The only person who's going to be able to touch is likely Luke Mino. Can they find him as he tries to approach? Yep. There he is.
Lucamino. Can Lucamino get out is the question. Nope, doesn't look like it. Secret chase him down, and Nightmare. Woo, that was a quick and clean map from the squad. I mean, just pure rush. May, Reaper, WM1, play the Moira too. Man, there was not much that Timeless could do to slow that map down. You saw them every time, like, pop in the high noon, like, don't come near us, and then they just pop Annihilation after that, and Blizzard, and man, that was a rough map for Timeless.
It's one of those situations. We saw the same thing yesterday in our first match, where if you play the May Reaper, you're able to just live through all the amount of damage that can come, and you can just have unbridled aggression just running at the opposition. And that's kind of the cost that Timeless were risking when they decided to play the Junker Queen. The Junker Queen can work if the opposition team isn't playing the optimal composition, but because they had it, all of a sudden the Junker Queen can't do anything. They had to switch their comp, which cost them a round. Then they had an ultimate disadvantage because they tried to get into a previous fight, so they lost the second round for free as well. So the map just seemed to snowball away from them just from that one decision to run Junker Queen at the beginning. So maybe they just need to be like, okay, that was a mistake. Reset, but now their backs against the wall, 2-0 down. They need to find something in the tank to be able to take down this very strong Nightmare roster.
Well, I mean, maybe the audience was hit the nail on the head there. I mean, a lot of them, it was like 80+% or something.
Yeah.
Voted for Nightmare.
85%.
It's looking that way right now. Yeah, it's looking that way. Unfortunately, Danny, don't think Timers can come back in this one unless they pull something out crazy. They get another map choice, Scott. Probably don't want to go to a rush style again, because they didn't really want to play the Reaper and kind of got caught off guard with the Junker Queen pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's just one of the... Oh, that was a very nice shot with the right clicks. But it's just one of those situations where, you know, it can be so difficult to work out what you want to do because, like, now are they confident in playing these rushes? You know, we're talking about that was their best look here on Nepal, but then it didn't work out on this map at all. And I do want to speak to, like, there was some individual, I guess, team mistakes. Individual team mistakes doesn't make any sense. But team mistakes...
It's an individual
that happened as individuals were stepping out. Like, that's a specific situation... The May drops the Blizzard, but the rest of his team runs away from it. So therefore the team just runs past the Blizzard, takes down the Baptiste. Those are the little things that I think Nightmare was doing a phenomenal job of, like, isolating and punishing the mistakes from Timeless.
Yeah, all right. Where would you want to see them go then in that case? I mean, still got Hybrid on the field. Now we've seen New Junk City. We've got Push as well, Escort.
You could even go something crazy like throw them over to like Circa Royale. You know, that map's very different to how any of the maps are played. It's unlikely we're going to see Ramacha or Winston on that setup. So if you want to try, you know, something different once again, maybe see if you can get an advantage on a different style of map, Circa Royale would make the most sense to me. But that really comes down to how comfortable your team is playing that composition, or at least that style, because Circa Royale is like no other map.
Yeah, all right. Let's jump into a quick break, though. Give the players a couple of minutes. Give you a couple of minutes and give us a couple of minutes as well. On the other side of this, can Nightmare finish out 3-0? Or will we see a reverse sweep from Timeless? Only one way to find out. Just in a moment. Okay, thank God we're at a break. My
what do you
God.
mean? I had a lot of fun during break.
I do not want to hear Danny ever again in break talking about how much aura and yes, I can't do it anymore. You know what I can do though? More Overwatch and more Overwatch casting. Nightmare versus Timeless. Currently a 2-0. In favor of Nightmare. Just there's no answers apparently from Timeless right now. I thought this was going to be a very close match. I was predicting maybe a 4 or 5 mapper. Right now, not looking like it. It looks like it's going to be kind of a 3-map, 3-0 as Nightmare just advance all the way through. Of course, Timeless still have an opportunity to make it through. They'll be playing in the Decider match against one of the elimination match teams a little bit later. Not today, that'll be next week. So they still have a chance to make it to the main event. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up going down. But for now, looking like Nightmare are going to be getting out this group 6-0.
Yeah, Nightmare just look like a very solid team right now. We talked about the additions that they had to their roster coming into this Stage 3. I think there's just a lot of players that are really excited to play together. I think I expect to see big things from this roster. So I thought maybe Timeless could do the same thing. It just haven't really shown the same level of prowess so far in the series.
Yeah, I think the May Reaper rush is just... very annoying to deal with, like as soon as you get behind on Flashpoint as well, and I think Timeless had a couple of good calls where like we know it's going to be like a weird staggered fight where we can get back to the point, we can kind of touch, and then maybe we find something, maybe we burn a couple of ultimates, but there were a couple of nice calls there where they're like, we're going to give this up, we're going to run away, we're going to just get set up for next point, but I mean, Infected and Seeker, especially on this map, their access to the backline was just free. It was like a warehouse without a lock on the door, you know? You just walk in, you take the stuff, their stuff being the dead bodies that you're carting away, and yeah, it was not much that Vision and Squid could do to stay alive and actually be impactful in that fight.
I will say there was an interesting thing that's been happening throughout this series as well. Doomed has been prioritizing playing on the flanks and then like putting point pressure on whenever they decide to go aggressive. The issue that's happening there is that they're walking into a 5v4 because during that time, Doomed is on the point. Yes, he gets a flips every now and then. What's happening is they're just losing the fight and then they're coming back and capping the point, or they're contesting before they can really do anything. So maybe they need to just be willing to take more 5v5 fights, just ignore the point for now and just sort of try and win the overall fight to get the capture and then have better control over those situations.
What is Bo doing?
I don't know. Bo's just sniffing around. He's just curious of what's going on. Hey, Bo, what are you doing? Bo.
My guy is... Okay, I was like, he's trying to escape through the window. He's trying to break out. Get him in there.
If you can see, my blinds are broken. Culprit number one. Okay.
Oh yeah. Just
this guy, the worst. You owe me $100, Bo.
$100? Oh.
Yeah, new blinds, expensive these days, Jack.
Damn. Okay. All right, Circuit Royale, another very expensive place I'd imagine to live.
Yeah.
Nightmare versus Timeless, and yeah, you mentioned it before. Maybe you take it to somewhere that you can actually slow the game down.
Yeah. And like, it's just such a different map towards anything else you can play. A lot of people play Sigma. Maybe Timeless will go for something different. You know, it looks like the Reinhardt. I don't know if this is actually going to be the play, but we have seen teams do this in the past as well, where you just bypass the idea of playing like the Sigma and the poke style that we see in Circuit Royale because of the long sidelines, and you just run at people. You can play the Symmetra to TP around. You can do so many different things, but something unconventional that we've seen over the last couple of days is the prominence of Mei on Circuit Royale, just because of like the flanks and how you can play on this map.
Yeah, something weird to see. It does feel strange seeing Mei on Circuit against all the Widowmakers, the Ashes, etc. Is Nightmare gonna roll out on the Seeker Bastion? Oh, he's got the skin you don't have, Scott.
Oh, wow, why would you rub that in, okay? It's one of the coolest skins, and I just don't have it, okay? And I'm very upset about it.
It wasn't my fault you didn't play in, what was it, 2019, September 15th to the 30th?
At the time, you know, I was busy.
Look at it go. Look at the little flames coming out of the gun. It's so sick, man. And unfortunately, Timeless on the receiving end, the Lego Bastion, with a gold gun too. Nice stuff. All right, Nightmare with, again, another unconventional comp on the map. You love to see it. Seeker on Bastion, Zera May, as we see CJ and Effective on the Ram and this... the Baptiste. It's going to be tough for Vision to get immediate kills too. The Widowmaker nerf a long time ago, Scott, taking care of people like Zera and Seeker have like buffed health pools compared to like 200 HP targets. Like that's a tall order for Vision.
Also, the damage fall off on the Widowmaker shots are pretty long, so you can't stand too far away, but now Luke Mino is the player who's going to get caught first, and right now Timeless are kind of getting caught with their pants down from this rush. They're just not able to stay alive long enough to get value from the high damage characters they're playing. They're just falling over to the rush.
I want to see, you ever play the Lego games?
Yeah, classics.
Yeah, the classics, yeah. So I want to see Torbjorn be able to rebuild Bastion, but I want him to do that animation of the Lego builder. Just you know when they do. Yeah, that was sick.
Oh,
let Torbjorn repair Bastion with his hammer. Where's that?
You know what would have been funny for the Lego Bastion skin? If as he was losing health, he would lose blocks, and then he would get blocks back as they were healing up.
Okay, that would be kind of sick. They come from nowhere and just start attaching to him.
Lego, hire me. That's all I'm saying.
Lego company, please.
Lego, if you're watching.
I've got so many ideas for Lego Bastion. All right, Infected and Nightmare pushing Timeless all the way back to this second point. A duplication onto the Baptiste of all things from Doomed. Seeker decides to get out of there, but not for a brief moment as he activates his ultimates. And Vortex coming down, and that's a lot of damage. No way Squid's getting out of that. Last shot coming into the back line is Lucamino and Vision fall pretty low. I mean, this is just a slaughter right now. Timeless just unable to do really all of anything against this Bastion.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Kuffer goes over to the Doomfist, Doom going over to the Pharah. This is starting to feel like my ranked games when things start going wrong. It's like, I'm just going to go Doomfist and hope.
Oh, you haven't seen it, Scott. We haven't got the chat right now, but it just said Kuffer has left the voice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
Kuffer's left the comms.
Yeah, and then Doom joins voice and says, you know, guys, what are you doing? I'm switching Pharah. Someone go Mercy.
You suck. yeah. Please go Mercy. I need it. Well, he does manage to kill Zero without a Mercy damage boost, thankfully. And Vision doing a lot of damage on this Hanzo, too. Infective's going to be the key target, and with the Discord Orb, they should be able to bring him down, but a lamp comes in just in time to save his life. But not before Doom lands a nice direct.
And this should force some form of reaction out of Nightmare. I think with all the swaps coming out from Timeless, there are some simple changes that Nightmare can make to make their composition just a little bit better. Because there's going to be a lot of high damage, but it's a lot harder to rush down the players with, you know, some of the high grounds and some of the setups. I feel like Nightmare potentially might run into issues. If they switch back to a Sigma of their own, I feel like that could give them a huge advantage in this situation.
We'll see. I mean, they've got a beat. They've got the window 2 now. That'd be Nightmare. Damage. Yeah, Kuffer was in there for like, what, 2 frames, it looked like?
Oh,
Doom's out of the fight. Good space creation here by Nightmare, just chunking the DPS down on the side of Timeless.
The gun sounds so silly.
It's so sick. Sound barrier coming in. Admiral, it's 4.
Very early.
Kuffer has got powered punch now. They have got this high ground, which is always quite nice. However, stopping this Bastion doing anything is going to be quite scary, and Vision's just going to hide in the pool. Uh-oh. He's let one way, but one to the other. Ew, he gets out of there just in time. Kuffer looked like he wanted to use that Meteor Strike on top of Seeker, but I don't think there was any way he was going to get out of there alive. Power up punch hits the payload, puts a dent in the F1 car. That'll be a $2 million repair bill, that's for sure. A nade through the window, instantly killing Lucamino. My word, it's feeling like stage 1 all over again. That was pain. That was pain. 3.5 minutes to go for Nightmare, Scott. They got an annihilation, and they got such a good position too with this Bastion. Oh, nice Dragons though. Dragons barrage in the back line. Doom Division taking the game into their own hands now, as they eventually managed to team kill Nightmare pretty much. 3 minutes to go though still.
I like the Seeker swap here over to the Widowmaker. I feel like this is going to force someone to switch on Timeless. Yeah, Doom goes over to the Tracer, recognizing they're going to need somebody to put pressure on Seeker. Zero over to the Tracer. They just need to find a way to avoid this just like long-range support damage, because right now they're unable to punish Kuffer, and Kuffer is just making himself a threat that gives everyone else a ton of space. So Kuffer's doing a phenomenal job. I love this swap, even if he did have to leave voice to do it.
Yeah, you don't need to go too aggressive on the Doom either. Just have the orb attached to you, just kind of peek around the corners, just force Seeker to look different directions as well, so he doesn't have a free shot on the back line. Double support ultimate for Timeless. They're in a pretty good spot right now, but Vision tries to get away from the double support duo from Nightmare, who went super aggressive, too aggressive, you must say, as CJ just gets double shot with the Storm Arrows.
This is a stronghold. 3rd point. This part of Circle Royale is just so difficult to attack, because it takes so much time to be able to get into position, find the flank routes, and then the defensive side has such easy, safe positions that they can play out of. So they need to just not get picked for a long period. Now Infected's going to switch over to the Diva, maybe giving him more options and a lot more control to be able to move around the map.
Stops the Doomfist getting instant kills too with the Shotgun Fist. All right, now
a lot better.
Kuffer, it's going to be in trouble here. Hasn't got ultimate either. He's got the power block, and what are Nightmare going to do? They're going to completely ignore the Doomfist while he's doing that. Meteor Strike used, Infected just sits on top of it. The Suzu stopping all of that damage. Suzu moment, number 76 of the series so far. Or of the stage so far. I've only just...
I was going to say, wow, yeah, that was a lot of Suzus that happened in the last minute.
No, okay, I was being hyperbolic. Come on now. 3 meters to go. Sound barrier comes in, and they are in the spawn. Oh, Lucamino switches to Mercy, gets the res on Vision, but unfortunately, it's all over. 1 minute and 17 seconds in the time bank. Good, honestly, Timeless holding off quite a lot. Wow, there was like roughly 4 minutes-ish, 3 maybe in a bit for Nightmare as they came into that 3rd point. So whittling it that far down, not too bad at all.
I really like the swaps at the very end by Nightmare. They go over to the Diva, they play the fast dive with the Tracer and the Echo, and you can see Timeless just aren't able to do anything with the heroes that they had, with how quick Nightmare can play. And then, on the other hand, for Kuffer as well, someone who's creating such a huge distraction, everyone else can follow him and chase him now, so he has to play in a different way. So Nightmare recognizing the weakness of the Timeless composition, that was kind of a curveball to slow things down. Yes, they lose a couple of minutes, but a minute 17 and just finishing Circle Royale is pretty good. So let's see if Nightmare can hold on and close out this 3-0, or if Timeless have something else, another trick up their sleeve.
All right, yeah, what are Nightmare going to play on the defense? Seeker on the Pharah, Zera on the Mei. Okay. I like this a lot. But it looks like Timeless is going to opt to more of a kind of conventional pick than the Sigma. Do you like the Sigma into this kind of comp, though, against Zera and Seeker on the double projectile?
Yeah, I worry for Timeless. They're on the attacking team, so they can make swaps earlier. But yeah, you've seen that Nightmare have the ability and understand how to play against these Sigma compositions. If you're going to try and anchor and play slow, we're just going to run at you time and time again. And I wouldn't be surprised once Timeless see this Nightmare composition, they switch off some of their heroes.
Okay, Vision, Hanzo, Doom, Pharah. Okay, so they're kind of matching Nightmare here and the Pharah at the very least. Dislodging the Mei is going to be kind of annoying, though, although the Pharah should have an easy time doing that.
Zera's in trouble here. They're forced out the cooldowns early. Nightmare's going to have to go aggressive and do something to help Zera out, otherwise Zera's just going to fall.
Zera is just going to die. Yeah, there you go, Infected. Comes out with a nice little response there. They do have to use the lamp yet again, but Zera is just so far forward. Good shot from Doomed. Pressuring out that Mei, who can be so annoying against the Sigma. And Luke is going to Seeker. Well. I also really like the Illari pick into their comp too. Yeah. The Illari pick from Timeless is really nice. You can just stand so far back, and your pylon just does all the healing, really. You just kind of pop it down. And getting a free ultimate off here from the Illari. There's no Kiriko on the other side. There's no D.Va. There's no Sigma. They can't eat the ultimate. Like, it can be just so effective. One arrow will set off will detonate the little effects there, the little sunstrucks. And it's just, yeah, it's a lot of damage.
And Infected not respecting that damage as well. Tries to step up and just takes too much to the face, and all of a sudden Timeless looking a lot better with this composition. This is how it's supposed to work. Feels like you're just supposed to stand back, shoot, and anytime anyone tries to step up, then they're just going to take too much damage to be able to do anything, as we see a flying Bastion a little bit.
Wait a second here. Effective on the Rhine, just pins straight to the payload. Nice little window. No way Lucamino survives that. There you go. Barrage high in the sky there is Infected. Oversteps his mark around that corner. Meets a whole pile of missiles in front of his face. Now it is Zera on the point trying to hold it down, but they still have the Blizzard. Throws it at the feet of Cuffer, but it is around the corner. Yes, they do manage to get the freeze, but is the healing enough? No, Squid even pops down the window, but they still manage to secure the kill onto Cuffer. And Seeker with a sick grenade against Doomed. Oh, you know he's typing in chat after that one.
Yeah, that was like actual simple geometry moment from the Bastion player. Just learning from Hanzo, bounces off the wall, catches the Hanzo. And look at the ultimates of Timeless. They use so many ultimates to try and close that out. And this is when it gets difficult for Timeless, because now they can walk up, but Nightmare's just going to wait. And then as soon as they step up a little too far, they're going to be rushing into them. Seeker coming up to the ultimate as well, so maybe they can engage with the artillery strike.
Yeah, there you go. That was close. Yeah, Wall a little bit short. Seeker even turned into turret form there. Was very ready for Cuffer to get trapped. Artillery barrage coming in. Needs to plant one more shot down, looking for Squid potentially. Do they know? Yes, they do. They are able to counter 3, luckily. Same can't be said for the rest of us. Doomed ends up going down to Zera as that Flux was just met by Lamp. Pretty easy response there for Nightmare. And now Timeless, they've only got a minute to go. I mean, Nightmare have every solution to the quiz that Timeless are putting out right now, Scott.
Yeah, it really feels like Nightmare's just very confident in themselves. They're just willing to play reactive. They know how they want to play the game. And right now, it just feels like Timeless is consistently on the back foot, having to make changes. Cuffer goes over to the Doom Fist. It worked on defense. Maybe it can work on attack.
Have to wait and see. Oh, he's already in the back line. He has to get out of there pretty quick. Uh-oh. Well, Infective's got Shatter, and Lucamino's dead. That is not good. With 30 seconds to go, Timeless is going to have to go for a quick regroup. I mean, a barrage, I mean, with the Ilario, like, very winnable here, but the problem is Nightmare can just play all the way back. As long as Admiral doesn't Ajax, then they're pretty safe.
And what do you do against this Shatter? As soon as Cuffer goes in, you just know they're going to get shattered. They have to instantly disengage.
There it is. Oh, the barrage, though, straight on top of the Shatter. They're unable to actually kill Cuffer, but they still need to touch. L'Oreal does end up coming out straight through the window, does manage to find some tags here, and that is going to be Kaffa going in, helping Lucamino with the kill onto CJ. Really nice Alari play from Lucamino. And they've still got ults to work with. Seeker 1 HP, unlocks a Bastion ultimate and kills Lucamino. They have to pop the window now. A Squid and the rest of the team are going to have to peek something, but Infected's there, swinging his almighty hammer as they hold them on first. Not even ODM gear could save you from that situation. That window wasn't quite enough. Nightmare end up taking the series. They are 6-0 map score in groups right now as they advance.
Deserving the title of one of the better NA teams that everyone's expecting to be in the top 3, make their way to DreamHack Stockholm. They just played every situation perfectly, even in that final moment. Pretty big player disadvantage, but they hold on just for long enough. Seeker drops the ultimate, and then everyone reinforces. They hold it on, and Timeless unfortunately can't match up.
Yeah. Secret definitely does have that Riz or the aura.
And the skibbity.
We're saying, and the skibbity.
Sigma. Say it.
Well, I promise, no more. No more. I think we said enough Riz and aura, but anyways, I mean, yeah. Unfortunate, I expected this match to be a lot closer, but it was a 3-0 victory. I mean, it was very well deserved from the side of Nightmare. They seem pretty unstoppable this match. Let's talk about this match with the highlights as well. Like, did you guys... I don't know, like, going into this match, you guys also said that you guys were expecting a closer match.
Yeah,
so what were some of the problems that you guys saw from, I guess, Timeless side?
Well, I think if you look back to Flashpoint specifically, that Queen pick, while it hurt them initially, them unable to kind of slow the game down because they were playing very slow characters and just unable to match the, well, not match the tempo, but slow it down for the Cassidy, for the Bab. They just got run over in the Moira. Some quicker adaptations may be needed, but it also felt like they had enough time to also do that. Maybe just not enough tricks in the bag.
Well, I think the problem that they ran into is it felt like they needed to go into the bag of tricks, right? And that's kind of a problem. When you feel like you're outmatched in some of these compositions, you have to start doing different things, throwing different curveballs, which can work, right? Like we've seen what theoretically could be weaker teams taking other teams that are stronger to the edge because you're doing something different, you're throwing them off balance. But it felt like every time they tried to do something different, like with the Queen or like with the Doomfist setup, or just like the way that they wanted to play the Sigma or Circle Royale, there was just a response from Nightmare every time. So if anything, I don't think it's what Timeless is doing poorly. I think it's props to Nightmare for being willing to adapt and having the right understanding of how they wanted to adapt to the problems as well.
I think it's like, you know, Nightmare with having so many great players, but also their like team synergies there too. I think that's what makes this team, I guess, the better team for this matchup. Definitely I think it was really good seeing Nightmare just like popping off. I think.
Yeah.
Seeker, that shot right there.
That was
actually screaming. I was like, there's no way you're hitting that. He actually did.
That was so sick, bro. He got A in maths, that's for sure, bro. Even A in advanced maths, too. Yeah, it was.
Did they lose like what? I mean, how many players? And then they somehow they were able to turn it around. Nightmare. I mean,
it was ridiculous. This turnaround was a little ridiculous. Like Infected getting back that quickly, and then Seeker just even getting one kill with the artillery barrage. Like, how is that even possible, man? Like that ultimate is pretty hard to hit the best of times. But when the fights do end up breaking down, it can be tough to really position yourself in a spot where you're not going to get hit with that ult. I think Nightmare. I said it yesterday. I think Nightmare are vying for that like top 2 spot. I want to see them against someone like a TSM, like an Energy Shock. I really do believe this team can go far.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's we always talk about the I guess the tanks and the DPS, but like DPS and these players are able to pop off because they have players like CJ right in the back. They're helping up the team, and CJ is our player of the match. What are your thoughts?
I love this pick. You know, CJ, the unsung hero sometimes of these kind of matches, but able to just keep his team alive. You know, Infected was playing hyper aggressive a lot of this game, trying to give that space to his DPS players. And if a tank's playing aggressive, they're usually getting a lot of heals. I liked the Moira pick as well. You could see them playing around the tempo of the Moira. And like the big hallmark of a great support player is how many times did you think, oh wow, CJ fell first or made a mistake or was caught off guard? It felt like CJ just played very cleanly, was there when he needed to be, and he just did his role. So props to CJ, playing great. He's one of the new additions to this team, one of those new additions that could potentially take them to that next step.
Yeah, he played on LA Valley with Seeker, like in that last year. Like that was.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That was a very fun team to watch. And yeah, so they've been playing together for quite some time now. So it was cool to see him actually join Nighthawk.
I mean, talking about CJ, he is going to be our post-match interview person from Nightmare as well. Let's hear it from himself. Oh my God, English very hard. CJ, hello. Hey, big congratulations on getting the win, man. I mean, I feel like a lot of people, like we were talking about it, I thought this was going to be a closer match, but I mean, you guys came out, you guys did your thing, and it was, you guys, like, fantastic performance all around from Nightmare. What was the game plan coming into today's match against Timeless?
Honestly, we think we're just the better team, so we're just gonna come out confident. First map, we were like all a little bit nervous, so that's why I was like a little closer. But as we got more and more confident, it was just easier for all of us.
Yeah, I'm curious, going into the main event, like TSM and especially NRG Shock, like those are really kind of the top dogs, trying to define kind of, on a planet of their own. But where do you see yourself kind of competing against teams like Shock, for example?
I think we're like very like tied, if not like a little better than Shock. So I think we could probably get like second place from them. But yeah, I think like TSM is probably like fourth.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I think it's cool to sort of see the jostling for position in the NA region. Well, let's talk about you. How has the transition been coming onto this roster? Obviously, you're one of the new additions alongside Clear and Lethal. How's that been, and how's the synergy been coming along?
It's been really easy because I've been like friends with Infected and Zero for a while, and also I was on a team with Seeker, the LA Valiant. So it's just been like honestly not that hard to just transition and mesh and get our synergy back up to where it was.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, I mean, that is it for the interview. CJ, thank you so much for your time. And again, big congratulations on getting the win. Hope to talk to you soon again.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me.